guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing my review of The Monstrumologist by Rick Yancey. Guys, this book was so good. It was so good. I recommend you check it out. Even before I even get to the review, I recommend you check this. Let's get into the review. I did something a little bit different with this book. I tabbed my favorite parts or certain places and stuff like that in the book, and I took all the tabs out so you can't see it now, but I tabbed them and I wrote everything down, all of the things down on a notepad instead of on my phone. I'm hoping this makes a lot more sense and it makes the video flow a little bit better than what my videos have been doing, so I just wanted to try it out and see if I should do this with all my books. This book right here, if I turn the right way, this book is about Will Henry, and it's told in the point of this book is about Will Henry, and he is a 12-year-old boy in the 1880s, and he is an apprentice slash assistant, both, to Dr. what's his name? Warthrope. To Dr. Warthrope, and the Dr. Warthrope is a doctor of philosophy, otherwise known as monstrumology. And he just studies monsters, and yeah, that's basically what it's about. Will is also living with the doctor. He's become his apprentice because Will's parents had passed away, and Will's dad worked for Dr. Warthrope, and now he works for Dr. Warthrope. Well, not really works, he's his assistant. He lives there and works for him and helps out and learns from him. I loved this book. I loved it so much. I mean, the writing was amazing. The story was amazing. It was just such a good read. I recommend you check it out. It's a little gory and a little creepy enough to be a Halloween read, but it's not over the top. I also loved how Rick Yancey, he took this dark story and like this dark things happen to characters, like sad things, and he kind of brought a little bit of humor and a little bit of light back into the situation. The darkness for a horror book, but also had this childlike wonder that all middle grade books have, and I really enjoyed that. I've seen some reviews say that this book isn't a middle grade book because of the content, because it's a little bit more gory and writing is a little more advanced, but I don't know. I think it could be a middle grade book. I mean, it was it'd probably be pretty tough to read in middle grade, but if you're a good reader, I mean, I don't know. It was good. I think it's a great book, and I recommend you check it out. It's 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm thinking Will's going to be one of my favorite characters now. He's just so amazing, and it's just such a good book. I recommend you check it out. Just check it out. So that is my review section, and just guys, come on. It's so good, and if you like historical fiction and horror, and it's just really, really good. Rick Yancey is an amazing writer, and I kind of already went into it thinking that it was going to be good because The Fifth Wave blew up and it was so good, but that's the same author as The Fifth Wave, so it's just a great book. Alright, so that is it for the review. If you ever read the book, I thank you for watching. Go read it, come back, discuss with me, because there's so much that happens. It's just crazy amount of stuff. So go read it, come back, and talk to me about it. Alright, bye guys. Thank you for watching. Discussion time. Discussion time. Alright. I wrote a few things down, so I wrote a lot of things down, so this might be a little bit long, but we'll see. I'll tell you some things that I liked, some things I didn't like, and the reasons why, and I'll also tell you my favorite chapters, obviously, and some things that I noticed, some cheeky things that I noticed. Oh, I'm not British. One of the things that I loved about this book was how philosophical it was. I know the doctor was supposed to be, you know, a doctor in philosophy, but he still really was so well spoken. His thoughts were just so well put, I guess. I really just liked that a lot. Anytime he was talking to Will, I felt like it was very important, or he was saying something really nice. I don't know. I have an example of that, and that's on page, I don't know the page, but when he was talking about fear, and he was talking about how fear kind of just blinds our reason. If we're scared of something, then we're not going to actually, what am I trying to say? Fear kind of outranks reason, and that we will overlook something, or we won't think something is real because we're scared of it, or something like that. And I really enjoyed that. He's done that. He does that. The Doctor does that in multiple places in the book, and those are like my favorite parts with him because, well, let's be honest, I'm not really sure how I feel about the Doctor, but I did like when he did talk. When he talked about fear, and when he talked to Will, just the relationship between Will and the Doctor was just great. I just loved it most of the time. I already talked about how I loved Will. I really think he's going to be one of my favorite characters for a long time because he's just such an amazing person, and I don't know, he just seemed a lot older than 12 years old. He was just very selfless, and he's just a great character. I really, really liked him. I also liked his relationship with his parents and how he had those good memories, which is kind of morbid for me to say, but I feel like it was good that he had good memories before his parents passed, so that way he kind of had a little bit of, kind of shaped him to be a better character, I guess. I said, I'm really not sure how I feel about the Doctor in terms of a good character because of the things, I just feel like he was sometimes he was just so rude to Will, or like he didn't give Will the benefit of the doubt, or I guess he was treating Will like he was an adult, and he's not, he's a kid, and it was just kind of hard for me to warm up to the Doctor. By the end of the book, I mean, I was a little bit warmed up, I guess, when he was talking, you know, when the thing happened at the end where he was freaking out about Will, and how, I don't know. I did love the banter between Will and the Doctor. It was always so funny and so lighthearted, and I really enjoyed that. I think that brought such an amazing dynamic to the story. It was just really great. I loved it. I also didn't like how the Doctor was so callous sometimes, like when someone was crying or something bad was going on, he kind of just yelled at them, like Malachi and Will, and I don't know, I think that might be because they were kids, because with Sergeant Varner, he was a little more understanding, and I didn't really I didn't really like that. Why are you going to be rude to the kids but not the adults? So I don't know, I think that's just something I noticed. So chapter 6 was one of my favorite chapters. It was when we learned all about what happened and how the Anthros, I'm just going to call them Anthros because I'm not even going to try to say that, they came over to the United States and it happened on the ship, and I feel like that story was just so well said, and it was just so well written. I just really liked it. I liked the writing, I liked everything about it. It was kind of slow and it took me a little bit to get through, but it was still just a great chapter. I also love chapter 10 because we got to meet whatever his name is, Corey, Cross, John, Jack, you know who I'm talking about. I don't know, when we first met him, he was just very regal and funny, and he brought a little bit of sarcasm to this book that was already a little bit sarcastic, and I also think that he did a really good job of making this character problem solver, I guess. He kind of comes in and solves all the problems, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't like that he tried to hurt my Will because that was rude. But other than that, I really enjoyed him. Chapter 3 was also very graphic, and I really liked that one too. That was like when the book started to pick up for me, and I really liked it. Even though the beginning was the whole book was such a good read and it just sucked me in, but it was kind of slow. It is a little bit of a slower read. It did take me a few days to read it, but it was still really good. I really enjoyed it, obviously. Yeah, I was gonna say, you just ripped my heart out when Malachi's talking to the Doctor, when he said all that stuff. Oh God, I felt so bad for him. I really liked Malachi as a character too, but I knew he wasn't gonna be a character that lasts very long just because of the things that he went through. So either he was gonna leave or he was gonna die, and he ended up dying. But he was still a great character. And gosh, his story, like, oh, just ripped my heart out. I even put it page 243, that page. And also how Will's parents died, ripped my heart out again. He was there. Oh, God, these boys, they were there when their parents died. That's just so sad. It's sad. It's sad. Okay. I'm weird. I also really liked how Rick Yancey, he made the monsters, the Anthros, human-like. So the monsters themselves weren't crazy under-the-bed monsters or paranormal monsters. They were animals, like human-like animals, and I just really like that. It brought a whole new creepiness factor. I really liked it. Alright, and last but not least, the thing that I found a little weird, and I don't know if this was meant to be this way or what, but when Varner, I don't know his name, he's the sergeant captain of the ship, whatever his name is, when he was talking about what happened on the ship, and he was sitting with the other guy's name I don't remember, one of the crew members, the only other crew member that was alive. They were talking about the Lord is my shepherd prayer, and that's when right away, I mean like right after that, that's when the other dude died. What is the other shipmate died. That's when the monster ripped his spinal cord out from the ground. A prayer was being said, and then when the attack happened on the Reverend and his family, he had a welcome saying that said, "The Lord is my shepherd," and that was a little funny. That was one of those things like, was that meant to be that way? I mean, obviously it is, because that's not a coincidence, but it was just very interesting. I found it very interesting that in both instances of attack, that prayer was somewhere around the family. So, I don't know. I'm weird like that. I notice the weirdest things and I overanalyze everything, but you know, that makes for a good discussion. Alright guys, that was my discussion, and I hope that was a little bit better than what I've been doing. If not, then I'm sorry. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing then if that wasn't as cool or as took a lot of time. So if it worked out well, then it worked out well. But yeah, I plan on finishing this series. I'm gonna get the next book in the series called Curse of the Wendigo, and I plan on getting it soon, and it's just such a good read, and I recommend you check it out. Obviously if you're watching this, because I just spoiled a whole bunch of crap, so hopefully you've read it, and if not, then, well, sorry. I did warn you though. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Jeez, I just have the burps today. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you go pick up the book. If you haven't, do it. Pick up the second one and let's read it together. Let's do it. Alright. Bye guys.